Right. See, our topic of discussion today is Newton-Raphson method. You see, we are discussing about finding solutions of equations, nonlinear equations, isn't it? While finding nonlinear equations, we have discussed already about bisection method. Now, the second method is this Newton-Raphson method. But before getting into Newton-Raphson method, let me just recall this concept. Linearization. Now, see, what is actually linearization? See, if you are given one particular equation like f of x is equals to 0, right? See, corresponding to this equation f of x is equal to 0, let us say if you have drawn some diagram, understand this is the diagram of the function f of x. Now see, when you draw a diagram of this kind, you can actually take tangent to this particular, graph at a point x is equals to a. Let us say, you have drawn one tangent here at the point x is equals to a. Now see this intersection point. If you can understand, you see at x is equals to a, because the function is f of x, this intersection point is actually a comma f of a. Now see, in fact, you are taking tangent to the graph at this point a comma f of a. Now see, when you take such a tangent, what linearization tells you? Around this particular point, see, if you take a small neighborhood around this, within this small neighborhood, both this tangent as well as the function f of x, both of them behave very much similarly, right? Within this small point, within this small portion, both of these to have similar behavior. Exactly, to some extent we say that is same, that the behavior of both the functions is same. When both of them are same, will approximate this original function by this linearization. In fact, the equation of tangent line, right? So this concept is actually called a linearization, approximating the original function by a straight line, a linear function. That's how we call it as linearization, right? So we call, the equation of the tangent here. That is what, approximating such a linear function is what you call linearization. So if you recall, what is the linearization equation for this? You see, we approximate the original function by the linear function at this point a comma f of a. So what is the equation of tangent? If you recall, you are finding the equation at this point a comma f of a, you see. So we'll write it like this: y minus the y coordinate f of a is equals to, we need to take a slope here. See, the function is f of x, so that the slope will be its derivative, f dash of x, and that too you are calculating the tangent at this point x is equals to a. So even we calculate the slope at the same point x is equals to a. So f dash of a represents slope of the tangent at this point x is equals to a. Then slope times, x minus x coordinate, x minus a. Right? So this is the equation of tangent at this point a comma f of a. But you see the same, we rewrite it like this. You see, y is equals to, you send this f of a to the other side. So we'll write it like this: f of a plus f dash of a into x minus a. In fact, you see this expression, we take this as what you call linearization. Isn't it? This is what you call linearization. You see, L of x is equals to f of a plus f dash of a into x minus a. Now see, I'm using this simple concept in finding solution of a particular equation. And in fact, that is what a Newton-Raphson method, right? See, Newton-Raphson method, the same story. You see, you'll be given an equation here also. You'll be given one equation, let us say f of x is equals to 0, for which you are trying to find out a root, right? As usually, as we did in bisection method, here also we can find one interval, let us say a comma b, where the function values at the end points are of opposite signs. I mean, f of a and f of b, they have opposite signs. Or else you can also say it like this: when you multiply the function values at these end points, this product will be negative. When one of them is positive and other one is negative, obviously, as you know, the product will be negative only. Correct? Then see, when you have such an interval, you can find out a root between these two values, a and b. Now, what we are doing in Newton-Raphson method. So as you are given here, exact root, let us say xi is the exact root. You are given this xi, it lies in between a comma b. Right? See, what is actually a root? When you draw the diagram of, this particular function. Now see, what is actually root? See, if let us say if this, this what you call yellow colored graph, it is the graph of f of x. Now see, wherever this graph intersects with the x-axis, you see this particular point. that intersection point is actually what you call root of this particular equation. So this is what you are trying to find out in any method particularly. Now see, this is your target. So this is what you are trying to find out, this intersection point. So to find out this intersection point, you cannot directly find it out, but we need to start somewhere. In bisection method, we continued with this interval as it is. I mean, we have considered 2 points, 2 end points. But now instead of these 2 points, you see in Newton-Raphson method, we'll only proceed with one initial approximation. So there are multiple ways to choose that initial approximation. In fact, there is one convergence condition also, but we are not discussing the convergence condition here. But randomly, I'll tell you how we'll take this x naught. But I'm taking x naught as an initial approximation. Right? So when I take this as the initial approximation, understand? So here I'm starting the problem. Normally, you see in bisection method, we took first approximation directly. X1, X2, we have calculated the remaining approximations. But here to begin with, we need to have an initial approximation. Right? I'm taking that x naught. Remember, this x naught I'll choose from this interval only. It is 1 point in this interval. Okay. Normally, either we take either of these 2 points A and B, or sometimes we take the middle point. And there is one particular convergence condition. Okay, but I'm not getting into those details here. We'll choose one number randomly while discussing the problems. We'll discuss about it. But I'll choose one initial approximation from this interval. Let us say x naught is this. Right? See here, this is x naught. Now see what we are trying to do. As we discussed in the previous slide, if you can draw a tangent at a particular point, around that particular point, the original function, I mean the tangent, both behave same, both behave similarly. Keeping that idea in view, you see, I'm just trying to take a tangent to this particular function at x is equals to x naught. Right? See this red colored graph here, it is a tangent, you see, at the point x naught, here. So this point now, it is actually x naught comma f naught. Right? See, this is x naught comma f of x naught. So at this point, you are trying to take the tangent. Now see what we are doing here. Since these two functions, I mean the original function and the tangent behave similarly, instead of the original function, I can approximate it with this tangent. Rendu same antunnan kada nenu ippudu. Ee particular around this point, ee rendu same ainappudu, around this point only anyway, I can approximate the original function by this tangent line. Right? So this itself is the beauty of Newton-Raphson method. You are actually approximating the original function by a tangent line. Now see, normally what we take the root, wherever the original function crosses the x-axis, wherever it meets the x-axis, this intersection point is the actual root. But if I'm approximating the original function by this tangent line, so that I'll see where this tangent line meets the x-axis. So here it is meeting, right? So this intersection point is now my first approximation. Actually, naite original function ekkadaithe meet avutundo danni manam original ga exact solution anukovali. Kani when I take some approximation here, this cannot be the original solution. I mean the exact solution. That's how this is again what you call an approximate solution only, but I'm taking it as what you call x1, right? The first approximation. Now see, if this is the first approximation, let us first calculate what it is. Let us take that equation of this tangent line and let us see where it meets with this x-axis. And in fact, from there, there only you are going to get what you call your first approximation. Now let us write what is the equation of tangent here. So the equation of tangent at x is equals to x naught is, see, you can understand, it is at this point. So y minus y coordinate, see, it is f of x naught is equals to, what is the slope? F of x is the function, you can easily calculate the slope. It is f dash of x naught into x minus x coordinate is x naught, right? So now if you can rewrite it, it is this way. Y, okay, let me write it as it is. I don't want to change this as of now. Let it be like this. Now see, this is the equation of tangent line, and what I'm assuming here, you see, this equation of the tangent line is meeting x-axis at this point x1. If I take this as x1, what will be its corresponding y coordinate? Understand, this is a point on x-axis. See, it is meeting at x-axis. Since it is a point on x-axis, its y coordinate is 0. So this line passes through what you call the point x1 comma 0. Right? Why I'm taking this y coordinate as 0? Because it is a point on x-axis. Normally for points on x-axis, y coordinate will be 0, right? So when this line passes through the point x1 comma 0, you can easily substitute y is equal to 0 and x is equal to x1, and hence it will be satisfied. So therefore it implies, you see, I'm just substituting here. Y is equals to 0 minus f of x naught, I'm writing it as it is. It is equals to, on the other side, you see, f dash of x naught into, here this is x1 minus x naught. Instead of x, I'm substituting x1. Why I'm substituting x is equal to x1 and y is equal to 0? Because this line is passing through the point x1 comma 0. In fact, it is the intersection point, isn't it? Now see, if I simplify this for x1, let me first send this term to the other side. So what you'll get here, you see, x1 minus x naught is equals to minus f of x naught divided by f dash of x naught. Right, I've sent this to the other side. And then now I'm writing it only for x1. So from here, you can write x1 is equals to, if I send x naught to this side, so you'll get it like this, x naught minus f of x naught divided by f dash of x naught. So now this is, understand, the first approximation to what you call, the exact root. Now see what we are trying to do next. You got some x1 here, right? Corresponding to this x1, you'll have some point here, you see. On the graph, you'll find some other point at x1. Now, as how we did at x0, we have drawn a tangent, in a similar way, even at x1 also, I'm trying to take a tangent now. See, something like this. When I take a tangent to the function f of x at x1, again, you see, this new tangent crosses x-axis at some other point. Right? This new point, this new tangent, it meets the x-axis at some other point. I'll now take that intersection point as my second approximation. So this is now my second approximation. Right? See here, initially we started with x0. Now you are moved to x1. Now you are at x2 here, you see. You are moving towards the exact root. See, exact root is waiting here. Okay. Now see, if you proceed in a very similar way, what you do now here again, you'll try to calculate the equation of tangent line at this point x2. At this point x1. We are taking the tangent at x1. As a result of that, we got x2 here, right? And now see, if you draw the equation of tangent line in a very similar way, see what you'll get here. You'll get it like this. Y minus f of x1 is equals to slope at x1 is into x minus x1, right? Again, you see what I'm considering, what I'm assuming here, this equation of tangent line, this tangent line is meeting x-axis at x2. So that, this passes through again the point x2 comma 0. This time, earlier it was x1 comma 0, but now the new point is x2 comma 0. Now, if you can substitute them here, we'll get x2 is equal to, in a very similar way, you see, if you substitute everything into, this equation, we'll get x2 is equals to x1 minus f of x1 divided by f dash of x1. Now, see, this is what you call the second approximation to the exact root. Now, see, if you proceed in a similar way, what you do next to this, you will now again take a tangent at this point x2. Right? There will be one point corresponding to x2 on the graph. And at that point, you will again take a tangent. And that tangent meets the x-axis somewhere. And from that, you will again find out what you call your third approximation. Can anybody expect, you see, x1 is equal to, you got everything in terms of x0. See, there is a clear similarity. x1, to get x1, we got everything in terms of x0. To calculate here x2, you see, we got everything in terms of x1. In a similar way, if I write it for x3, I'm just writing it for here convenience, you see, when you write it for x3, you can write it as x2 minus f of x2 divided by f dash of x2. And see, if you just continue this process, in general, you can write this as xn plus 1 is equals to xn minus f of xn divided by f dash of xn. Right? See, this particular formula, whatever I'm writing here, we call this as Newton-Raphson formula. Right? See, this is what you call Newton-Raphson formula. Newton-Raphson iterative formula. And the method of approximating the original function by these tangent lines here to get the root of equation. We call that as Newton-Raphson method, right? So now let's move on to a question. Right. Here we need to find out an approximate root of the equation x cube minus 3x minus 5 is equal to 0, which lies near x is equals to 2. Understand, as I told you already, in Newton-Raphson method, we need an initial approximation. One value is absolutely enough. So in the question itself, in most of the cases, will give you this, right? So here you're asked to find the approximate solution near x is equals to 2. So let me just begin with this. Whatever the function you are given, I'm taking it as f of x, right? So f of x is equals to, this one, x cube minus 3x minus 5 is equals to 0. That's the equation what you are given here. And whatever the value you are given here, you see 2. I'm taking that 2 as the initial approximation. Let the initial approximation, I'm writing this because it's the first problem. The initial approximation x naught is equals to 2, right? Now, see if I recall the Newton-Raphson formula. See, it is xn plus 1 is equals to xn minus f of xn divided by f dash of xn, right? You need to remember this formula particularly. If you remember this, the things will be really very easy to you. Right, see here, x naught, for example, if you're calculating x1, what we use, you see, to calculate x1, we need x naught. It is already known to you. F of x naught, already we know what is f of x. So in that, I can substitute x naught, fine. And here in the denominator, we need f dash of x naught. So we don't know what is f dash of x here, you see. That's how I'm calculating, first of all, f dash of x. So you're already given some f of x, right? So using that, if I differentiate it again, see, differentiation of x cube, the first term there, it is 3x square. I'm differentiating this minus, when you differentiate 3x, it is 3. And when you differentiate the constant 5, it is anyway 0. So I'm not writing that. Now see what we need to do in our calculator. We need to have an equation of this kind. So create an equation in your calculator like this. X is equals to, I'm not, no need of x on the left side, but you see like this. X minus f of x divided by f dash of xn. So what it is, I'm just substituting here, you see, for convenience, as this is the first problem. Now see here, xn plus 1 is equals to, we'll take it like this, xn minus, what is f of xn? See, the function f of x is this. So here in place of f of x, in place of x, I'm substituting xn. So we'll get it like this, you see, numerator, xn cube minus 3xn minus 5. And in the denominator, you see what you have, f dash of x, it is 3x square minus 3, right? So there also in place of x, I'm substituting xn, 3xn square minus 3. Now see, to solve, to get further approximations using a calculator, now we need to create a function of this kind in your calculator, which is x minus, see what you have, f of x, I've written here, no? Instead of xn now, I'm just taking it as x only because calculator cannot understand xn. So let it be x cube minus 3x minus 5 in the numerator. And in the denominator, you can write it like this, 3x square minus 3. Right? We need to create a function like this in your calculator. Let me show you that. Now see what we are expecting. Now we need to create a function, right? See how I'm creating this function. Look at this, above this closed bracket, there is one x. To use that x, we need to use click and then this closed bracket. So I'm clicking on that alpha and then on this closed bracket. So that you see, I got it as x there. Then x minus, now look at this, just below this calc button, we have a numerator by denominator button. You see, I'm using that. This, and here in the numerator, what you're typing, you see, how much it is, x cube, right? So to get x cube, actually, see here, above this x square, there is x cube. So you need to click shift and then x square. So click on shift, then x square. You will get x cube And to get x there, I'm just entering this. See, I got x cube, then minus 3x alpha x minus 5. See, I got x minus f of x. And now in the denominator, we should get what you call f dash of x, f dash of x means it is 3x square. 3, I have entered x, and then you see there is an x square button. See here, this is x square button, x 3x square minus then 3. So what I got here, you see x minus f of x divided by f dash of x. Now, what is our initial approximation? It is 2, correct? To calculate our first approximation, now we need to use this calc button. Click on this calc. When you click on this calc, it will ask you certain value for x, right? See how much is our initial approximation? It is 2, Now we need to click on this 2. Now then click on equality button. You see equal button. When you click on that, you see you will get certain value for this result. Now see whatever you got here, this is your first approximation. Somebody please write this 2.43. Now see, that is your first approximation. To get our second approximation, you need to write these things in your notebook. 2.3333 is our first approximation. Now to get the second approximation, again you need to click on this calc button. When you click on this, you see again it will ask you the value of x. Enter 2.3333. See, now then click on this equality button. So that you see you got a new value, which is 2.2805. Somebody please write it. The second approximation what we got is 2.2805. As I told you, every time try to take at least 4 digits after the decimal point. Okay, so that you can see the second approximation is 2.2805. Okay, now I'm substituting again this. Again click on calc. Now enter this value for x. 2.2805. Okay, something is wrong here. Yeah, 2.2805, and now I'm clicking on this equality button. Now see how much I got, 2.2790. Right, somebody please write this. This is your third approximation. Now the third approximation is 2.2790. Now see again I'm using this calc button. When I click on that again, you see it asks you what you call the value of x. How much we got, you see earlier? 2790, right? So I'm using that here. 2.2790. Let's see, now I'm clicking on this equality button. See, I got now again 2.2790. See, interestingly, right? At fourth approximation, in fact, you see, we have not verified, but after getting second approximation, right? After getting x2, we need to compare x2 with x1, right? Now here, after getting x4, we need to compare this with x3. When you compare x4 and x3, even earlier also we have the same answer, 2.2790. Because you got the same thing, right? You can stop the problem. Okay, and this value, whatever you got at the end, 2.2790, that's going to be your final value. And I mean, that is the approximate root of the given equation. Right, recall what we have done. As we got from calculator, we have just substituted everything into these formulae. We got x1 as 2.43333, then x2 as 2.28005. And when we compare these two, we see we have not even reached what you call 1 decimal accuracy. So we have continued this. X3 is equal to 2.2790. We got it, right? So when we continue this, we got even x4 as also 2.2790, right? So that's how you can see we got the answer for this particular question as 2.2790. Right. See, now the function is, the equation is e to the power of x minus 3x is equal to 0. We need to find a root which lies between 0 and 1. Understand this properly. You are given that exact root lies between 0 and 1. But in Newton-Raphson method, we need only one initial approximation. We don't need two values, correct? That's how, to get this initial approximation, you see, I'm considering the middle point here, right? So the best thing here you can take is middle point when you are given an interval of this kind. If you are given only 1 point, well and good, no need to worry about that. But when you are given an interval, proceed by taking the middle point, right? In fact, there is other convergence condition, but I'm not getting into those details, right? So when you are given an interval for Newton-Raphson method, proceed with the middle point. Now see, when this is the interval, the middle point is 0.5. And when you recall the Newton-Raphson formula, it is this, as you know, xn plus 1 is equals to xn minus f of xn divided by f dash of xn. As usually, you know, we need again f dash of x, correct? So to calculate f dash of x, you know, I've differentiated f of x here. As we know, the differentiation of e power x is e power x only. And for the differentiation of 3x, it is now 3, right? So as usually, as we did in the previous problem, now we need to define a function of this kind, right? Now, what is the function which you need to create in your calculator? It is this, you see, x minus f of x. What is f of x, you see? E to the power of x minus 3x. And in the denominator, it is f dash of x, you know, it is e to the power of x minus 3. I'll just move on to the other platform. Now see, I've created this function in your calculator here. X minus f of x divided by f dash of x. After creating this function now, what is our initial approximation? It is 0.5, right? The interval what you are given is 0, 1. But from that interval, you are only taking the middle point. So 0.5 is your initial approximation. So I'm clicking on this calc button, you see. When you click on this calc, I need to enter the value of x. It is x is equals to 0.5. Okay. When I enter the value of x, see how much I got. Somebody please write it. Now this time you see, look at the value which you got here. You got it as 61005. Because the fourth digit is 0, even the third digit is also 0 here. Let us take 5 digits. You can also proceed with 4 digits, I don't mind. But you know, to get the solution quickly, after the decimal point, I'm suggesting you to take 5 digits because these two are zeros. Okay, let us take it as 0.61005. All right, somebody please write it. Now again, I'm clicking on this calc button. Now see how much is this? 0.61005, correct? Now see, because of that, the second approximation what we got is this 0.61899. You can also take it as 0.61890 if we round it off. Anyway, we are interested to take up to 5th digit, right? So let it be like this, 0.61899. Fine. Somebody please write this. This is your second approximation. Now we need to substitute the same again. Calc. Now see the value here you are substituting is this 61899. Now see again I'm clicking on this equality button. So see what I got, 0.61906. Right? See the next third approximation here is 0.61906. That's a third approximation. See if you compare with this with the previous one, earlier it was 0.61899. So only 2 digits after the decimal points are same. That's how we got only 2 decimal accuracy. So I'm continuing for one more. Calc. Sorry. See how much it is. The value of x 0.61. 61906. See, again, I got the same thing. You look at this 0.61906. Earlier it was 0.61906, 128. 128, then 261 is there. But now up to how many? See, 3 plus 2 plus 3, 8 digits we got same. Right? That's how. Anyway, we are taking 4 or 5 digits only. So since the 4 digits or 5 digits are same in 2 successive approximations, We can stop the problem here. And the final answer, I mean the approximate solution for this equation is 0.61906. All right. Right. So this is the answer as we discussed, 0.61906. Now look at one more problem. We can stop with this anyway. Find a real root of this equation. E to the power of x into sin x is equals to 1 near x is equals to 1 using Newton-Raphson method. Right. Now the function is, you see, e power x into sin x is equals to 1. Understand this function this equation involves what you call a trigonometric function. As I told you, when you have a trigonometric function in your calculator, you need to keep your calculator in radians mode, right? Please check your calculator whether it is in radians mode. When it is in radians mode, then only we'll get the answers correctly. Otherwise, you see, you will get all wrong results. That's how you see. I've already written here the things for you. Now see the equation, whatever you are given in the question, I'm taking it as f of x, e power x into sin x minus 1 is equals to 0. And then whatever the initial value you are given here, 1, I'm taking it as x naught. Now this is what you call the regular, what you call Newton-Raphson formula. And anyway, as you know, in this we need f dash of x, correct? But see here, in f of x, we have a product of two different functions. So I'm using what you call UV rule to differentiate this product. So initially I've kept this e power x as it is. By keeping e power x as it is, when I differentiate sin x, it is cos x. Then plus, if I keep sin x as it is, differentiation of e power x is again e power x only. Minus for 1, anyway, the differentiation is 0. So I'm not writing that. And now from these two terms, if I take e power x common, you see, we'll get it like this. Right? Somebody please try to tell me. I've already written some value here, but let us see. I'm not sure whether this is correct or not. Now create a function of this kind in your calculator. X minus, what is f of x? E power x into sin x minus 1. And in the denominator, e power x into sin x plus cos x. See, while preparing a function of this kind in your calculator, you will, on your keypad, you will find one button with the name sin. Use this. Don't type sin. Right? Use this function sin. When you click on this button in your screen, you will directly get sin and some place to enter other element. So here in this box, we need to enter what you call this x. Okay, so follow that idea. Okay, so yeah, somebody please check this. I got some answers already. When I substitute everything into this x naught, right? If you substitute x is equals to 1 in this expression, you see, in this expression, you know, I got x1 as 0.6572. In this expression, to calculate x1, if you substitute x naught everywhere, I got x1 as 0.6572. And then using this x1, if I use again the same formula for Newton-Raphson method, I got x2 as 0.5911. And then as you can see here, at x4, I got these two as same. Please don't misunderstand. We'll get every time these two as same. We are only looking for 4 decimal accuracy, right? Since we are looking for 4 decimal accuracy, we are getting them as same. If you are interested in only 3 decimal accuracy, we need only up to 3rd digit here. But when you use Newton-Raphson method, please understand, try to take at least 4 decimals. Right? Anyway, we are not discussing, but remember this. We'll always say Newton-Raphson method has what you call quadratic convergence. Quadratic convergence in the sense, the speed of convergence rate for this method is actually 2, right? Because the convergence rate is 2. For bisection method, it is only 1. So it is almost 2 times better than the what you call bisection method. I mean, when we use Newton-Raphson method to solve a particular equation, we'll reach the solution 2 times quicker than the bisection method. So that's how you see Newton-Raphson method is much superior compared to the bisection method. Okay, so these are the things about what you call Newton-Raphson method.